Hi, I'm Brian Schimmel from Brentwood Construction and Remodeling in Orlando, Florida, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view Part 3, the different contract types, in the three-part video series that we have produced to help homeowners who are considering remodeling their home. If you've not viewed Part 1 and Part 2 yet, I suggest that you visit our website at www.brentwoodcr.com and you'll find the entire video series there. We will now begin discussing the various types of contracts that remodelers and general contractors use. In this market, everyone is concerned with cost, but it's important to understand that costs are most impacted by the finishes and the fixtures you select, the experience of the contractor that you choose to work with, and, as this video will focus on, the type of the contract that you sign. Believe it or not, there's very little difference in cost of materials and labor from one contractor to the next. It is important that you understand that you're doing an apples-to-apples comparison when comparing one contractor's bid to another. Like contractors, no two contracts and no two proposals are the same, so it really puts a little bit of a burden on the homeowner to make sure that they understand what they are signing. Very early in the process, I advise clients to be realistic and set a minimum and a maximum budget. You do not have to share your maximum budget with me, but it would be wise to share your minimum budget. Knowing the minimum budget helps me advise clients where to invest money and where money can be saved. If the budget is set artificially low by the clients, in the hope of getting the best price that they possibly can, you may not get exactly what you want, or you may end up working with a contractor who either does not know their cost or will tell you whatever you want to hear just to get the job. Another important, impact of setting an artificially low budget is that you might send the most qualified contractors away. You really want to end up working with somebody that you're comfortable with and you're confident with. And, just setting an artificially low budget actually might attract the least desirable type of contractor that you want. There are several different types of contracts, and it's important to understand the liability, the advantages, and the disadvantages of each. I will finish this video by discussing the three types of contracts that are used. And the three types of contracts are fixed price contract, which is what we use here at Brentwood Construction and Remodeling, cost plus a percentage, which is usually the percentage ranges from 15 to 25%, and then a fixed price management fee contract, which is usually based on time. Fixed price contracts it is a contract that fixes the price for a defined scope of work and will use allowances for things that you're going to select, things that the contractor has very little control over. By selections, I mean your fixtures and your finishes. There are millions, if not billions, of items and options for homeowners to choose from. There's $2 a square foot tile and $16 a square foot tile. I've had clients put in $5,000 worth of cabinetry, and I've had them put in as much as $100,000 worth of cabinetry. Selection allowances must be used, but the key thing to make sure is that your contractor is allocated an adequate amount of money for making the type of selection that you desire. Selection allowances should be reconciled long before the start of construction, because then you have an option to reselect if one of the options that you have chosen goes above the stated allowance. If a contractor references allowances for units of work other than your selections, then I would be a little bit suspect. Homeowners do not know the cost of lumber or concrete or what price that framers and masons, electricians, and plumbers charge. In opposition to selection allowances, material and labor allowances should be avoided as much as possible. They just introduce too many significant fluctuations to the final price. The second type of contract is cost plus a percentage contract. It seems attractive, but there's actually very little incentive for the contractor to control the cost. This contract type also requires the homeowner to become a bit of a job accountant or a supervisor, because you'll need to review all costs and approve all bills. You're basically going to be making a lot of decisions, and some of these decisions need to be made very quickly. It's going to be a certain amount of your day. Each day will be devoted to understanding the cost, approving bills, and just authorizing the project to move forward. In my opinion, the only person who really benefits from a cost plus contract is the contractor, because no matter what, they know exactly what they're going to make. There's very little incentive for them to consider every cost that you may encounter, because again, their costs are always covered. There's also very little incentive to find efficient ways to build, what we call value engineering. The final contract type is a management fee contract, and as I said earlier, it's usually based on time. This contract means that the contractor will receive a fee for managing the job. I really like these contracts the least of all three because there's just little to no incentive to control cost, and what clients are often most concerned about is there's no incentive to control the construction schedule. You know, the quicker the job gets done, the less the contractor makes. So usually the job doesn't get done very quickly. You know, I feel again that these are the least desirable of all contract types. You know, at the end of the day, it's important to understand that if an apples-to-apples comparison is done, that there's very little difference in cost from one contractor to the next, but the level of service, quality, and experience can vary greatly. You know, profit percentage can vary from contractor to contractor, but it's worth it to me to pay maybe a little bit more in gross profit to somebody if I know that the project will be delivered on time, in budget, and maintenance free. You know, it might be the wisest investment you can make in your entire project. You know, if you see fluctuations in bids, it's most likely a difference in the scope of work. Again, that goes back to the apples-to-apples comparison that we're talking about. You know, just do your due diligence and be excited and confident about your project. Remember to have your contractor supply you with documentation of their license, their insurance, and their references. It's really important. And, you know, and as this video is focused on, it's really key to understand the type of the contract that you're signing. You know, if you have any questions, please visit our website at www.brentwoodcr.com and feel free to contact us with any questions. Thanks for viewing and good luck.